It's known as many things. The fastest growing metro in the U.S., the live music capital of the world, Silicon Hills, and even Bat City. Yes, Austin, Texas has many sides, but it's finally time we explore the burnt orange side.
We're back in Austin, baby! And back on the 40 acres. Woo, woo, woo.
Austin, the capital of the nation of Texas, sits very near the center of the state. These days, its identity is everything from barbecue to billion-dollar tech companies. But historically, that wasn't the case. Austin was two things: politics and higher education. Even Willie Nelson came later. Now we've tripped the capital. Time to mosey up the street.
All right, so season 1, we went to Baylor. Season 2, we went to Aggieland.
Yes, we did.
There was something else in there. Oh, Tarleton. We've been to SFA, Sam Houston.
We've been to Sol Ross.
Oh, SMU.
Tech. But why the heck have we not been to Longhorn country?
I was always kind of hesitant to feel like too much of a homer.
I think you did it right.
You're just working your way up. Okay, all right.
Oh, shots
all
fired.
right.
Hey, friendly rivalries are one of the greatest parts of college. And now let me show you around my alma mater.
Trippers, welcome to the 40 acres that make up the University of Texas at Austin. Now, admittedly, it's a little different for us to spend an entire day trip exploring on and around a single college campus, but hang with me, because just as Texas is more than tumbleweeds, this campus is more than classrooms, with some truly world-class stops that I think are gonna surprise everybody, even us Longhorns.
40 acres is UT's campus nickname and the original size of the university when it was established back in 1883. Today, the campus stretches over 400 acres with its iconic tower standing guard. And who better to school us on campus than UT President Jay Hartzell himself, whose personal office sits just a little lower in the sky.
President Hartzell, I can't say I ever made it up here as a student. This is incredible.
Yeah, it's a great perch.
So I think there's a misconception that the campus is really for students and alumni, and other than that, it's just a cluster with terrible parking and all that.
Yeah,
but
right.
that's not true.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, you think about part of why Austin's been so successful is UT, and part of why UT's been so successful is Austin.
Right.
And so part of what we've been really focusing on is how do you embrace the sense of being in the middle of this great, vibrant, awesome city.
Sure.
The public art on campus has been phenomenal. We just reopened the Natural History Museum. So we've talked about making the walls of the campus more permeable. We want people flowing back and forth. Our students, our faculty and staff out in the city and the state coming in.
Oh, I love that. We got a little upstaged by the Peruvian bells up there.
I know, that's right. Yeah, you know, it happens. Yeah. You want to go up and see if it's changed since you used to lead tours?
It's been a few years since I've been up there.
Yeah, well, we may not have touched it much, to be honest. We're gonna fix it.
Yes, my first job as a guide wasn't giving tours of Texas, but the Texas Tower.
Wow.
Welcome back.
Blast to the past.
Yeah, I usually give the tours up here, but maybe this is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the University of Texas Tower.
Yeah.
And that's all I remember. I was hoping it would come back. It did not.
Yeah.
We got to meet the most interesting people coming up here for tours, and it was always fascinating.
Yeah, it's all about the people, right?
Yeah.
The people you run into in this place are just phenomenal.
Yeah. President Hartzell, that was an absolute honor.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yep.
welcome back home.
This has all changed so much from when I worked up here. But what hasn't changed is the sense of awe you get when you come up here. Endless possibilities out there, folks. That definitely hasn't changed.
It is hard to come up here and not think about the tower shooting. And yes, there are still patched bullet holes that tell that story. But as time heals, I feel the tower is less a permanent scar of the past and more of a symbol of a brighter future ahead. And so now, my amigos, it's time to explore all those things we've been talking about. After all, UT's got more museums than most towns we visit. And we're gonna start at the top, or at least the tallest. The LBJ Presidential Library. This is the pinnacle museum for the 36th President of the United States of America, Texas-born Lyndon Baines Johnson. This is Director Mark Lawrence.
I feel like I'm in Washington, D.C.
It's a little glimpse of the White House during Lyndon Johnson's presidency. This is literally the furniture, most of it, that sat in the Oval Office.
Wow. Phone in the coffee table?
Phone, very LBJ. He had phones everywhere. He did so much business by telephone.
This place is a time capsule, but not just for furniture and clothing, primarily for papers.
First and foremost, we are an archive. We have upward of 50 million pages of stuff related to Lyndon Johnson's long political career, but of course, especially his presidency. The 1960s was such an important moment in American history that continues to echo in the present. So many of the issues from the Johnson presidency are back with us. Voting rights, the environment, immigration, poverty, healthcare, and on and on we could go.
You come in here expecting to see a museum full of some cool stuff, and you leave with all these deep thoughts and your head spinning because it really was such an important presidency.
LBJ started in the U.S. House of Representatives at just 29 years old, then to the Senate, vice presidency, and ultimately became our country's commander-in-chief.
Right off the bat, LBJ is tasked with not only helping the nation heal and picking up the pieces from the Kennedy administration, but he's president now, which means he has to have his own vision. And so he puts into effect some groundbreaking pieces of legislation, forging forward into what he called the Great Society.
LBJ had a vision that a large federal government was the best way to help as many people as possible, and his legislation remains some of the most impactful in history.
So LBJ wanted nationwide, credible, educational news, and so he helped create Public Broadcasting Service, PBS. Thank you, LBJ, and viewers like you. It's a moon rock, one of very few outside of NASA. Even though we landed on the moon just shortly after Johnson's presidency, we would not have gone to the moon without LBJ. Oh, President's calling. He says there's no good barbecue in Washington, D.C. He'd like for you to ship him some. Pickles and onions, no sauce, unless the brisket's dry. Yes, Mr. President, yep.
LBJ was a talker, with a slow Texan drawl and a corny yet charming sense of humor. And when he really needed something, well, he used his 6'4" stature to give others the Johnson treatment of persuasion. However, even he ran into a challenge he could not politic or persuade his way out of.
Vietnam was his quagmire. He couldn't figure out how to get us out of the war, couldn't figure out how to win the war. It was a turning point for America's faith in the military, in the news, in the presidency. I mean, this picture is of him looking at this map. It's pretty incredible, all of it. The time in history, the artifacts in the museum. It's hard to even put into words, truthfully.
Even though he passed over 50 years ago, America still feels his imposing presence.
Yes, Mr. President. Yes, we'll make a really good segment about your museum, I promise.
And I recommend everyone come here to get their own Johnson treatment. I think that calls for a lunch break, which means it's time to cruise Guadalupe, aka the Drag.
Best places to eat around UT. What do we have to throw out? There's a lot.
Double Dave's used to have quarter pizza roll night, and that was
Okay.
You hammer that.
pounding goodness.
Or Plucker's quarter wing night.
Plucker's quarter wing night.
That's insane to even think about.
Yeah, what are they?
Quarter,
$1.50
right?
a piece now?
Yeah.
I mean, burgers, there's a couple. One of them, may it rest in peace, Players.
Players for sure.
Oh, Players.
Yeah. Hey, is Hole in the Wall still there?
Hole in the Wall is still
It
there.
is.
The Drag is like a revolving door. This was Blockbuster.
Right.
Oh, man.
And you know what? I get this idea. We're participating in what has become a tradition of Longhorns, which is just talking about the places that used to be here.
Right.
Gosh, we sound so old just sitting around complaining. There were no high rises and the wings were only a nickel.
The only thing constant is change. Well, that and our lunch spot. One that's been serving Longhorns for close to 100 years. Dirty Martin's, home of the comeback burgers. This is longtime owner Mark Niemer.
It's a familiar smell of grease and burgers and butter and cheese.
Some things don't change.
That's right.
And they shouldn't. Martin's was started in 1926 by a man named John Martin, who ran it as a small cafe with just a few bar stools.
Martin's was a shoebox. It's called Martin's. How does it get the name Dirty's?
Well, okay, so the story is it used to have dirt floors, which I'll attest to. The space in between the buildings actually still had dirt when I bought the place. Doesn't have that now.
Despite the many changes, the Dirty's abides. In the 50s, it was mostly a drive-in, and now it's more of a burger beer hall. The constant has been the faithful customers.
This is the who's who of clientele.
Well, everybody's who around here, but you know, we've got a lot of athletes.
This is crazy. Coach Sark, Lyle Lovett.
Yeah.
There's Bijan.
Beryl Campbell has been a great friend of the place.
I mean, if you attribute the longevity of Dirty's to anything, what is it?
The people that work here,
Yeah.
I have to start there.
Yeah.
It's the customers, but it's the people that work here.
Mark is quick to praise his staff. He even had a car hop named Doc that worked here for 50 years. Today, Will at the Grill is celebrating 29 years of slinging beef.
You were here when I was in school.
Absolutely, man. I'm still looking the same, man. I haven't changed.
Yeah, that's
I
actually
came
true.
here looking good, and I'm still looking good, okay?
Hey, what's the secret?
Just God, man.
Okay, it's not the cheeseburgers.
No. They help, though.
Okay.
They help.
You see that? He buttered the top of the bun with the grease from the meat.
We got to be doing something right? The hospitality,
Yeah.
the nostalgia of it. When you leave, you want to come back, man. Just think about it. You was a student here, and you remember me. Hey, man, that says a lot, don't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know,
well, you're pretty memorable.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not your average.
No. Well, yeah, you're right.
It's easy to see why Dirty's holds a special place in our hearts and stomachs.
This is the order right here. It is a large OT with grilled jalapenos, grilled onions on it. That was good. You know how good? That's how good. You have to hold on to these burgers tight. They're so greasy they'll slip out your hands if you're not careful. Takes me back right there. I've never ordered these chili cheese tots, but with house-made chili and queso. Oh, that's yum. You know, there's a lot of stuff that you remember tasting better. I think Dirty's gets better. Keeps me coming back. Always has, always will.
Now, I'm not saying a Dirty's hamburger is the key to athletic success, but I'm not saying it. There's got to be a correlation. And to see if it's advanced my own athletic prowess, well, let's visit DKR Stadium. While you can't run to the 50-yard line, you can visit the Frank Denius Family University of Texas Athletics Hall of Fame. Phew, long name. It's a place to participate in the time-honored tradition of loving or hating the Longhorns. And who better for a tour than Athletic Director Chris Del Conte?
There's a lot of fans of UT athletics, and to have a place like this, just to see a Big 12 trophy like up close and personal, you got a few of those, huh?
Well over 800 conference championships across Southwest Conference,
Yeah,
Big
Southwest
12.
Conference over there.
Wow, you think about this from a recruiting perspective. This is the legacy that you're coming into, and your whole goal is to live up to this legacy.
You hit them with that pressure right off the bat.
Right off the cooker.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
The eyes of Texas are upon you, I suppose. Always watching. Every corner of this place is marked with the name of a Longhorn legend or team, but some stand taller than others.
Tyler Rose.
Tyler Rose.
Is that his real Heisman? I mean,
That is his real Heisman right there. That's the thing.
I don't see a no touching.
Oh, you can grab it, just look at it. You know what I mean?
I just touched it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's great.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not many places you can touch a Heisman or see a bona fide national championship trophy.
And as you walk into this room, you're going to see we've won 66 NCAA national championships. So this is the ultimate goal, is to win a national championship.
Yeah, you got more wall you can
That's
build
the goal.
too. Yeah. Do you ever just like open that case, hold that crystal football at night, and just sort of rub it for good luck or anything?
For sure not. I think people just get attached to the institution, to the players, their memory, and you get a chance to come back here and celebrate that and relive that, just that little glimpse. And as you get longer in the tooth, we're here to remind people of the greatness of those that came through here.
They were all bricks in something bigger, more than just sports.
More than just sports.
I guess this is a sign that you're getting old when the Hall of Fame is full of players you remember playing. Like Colt McCoy, Vince Young, Sam Acho, basketball DJ Augustine. And then I was fortunate enough, one time, I got to see this man play with the burnt orange on. Ricky Williams. Man, college athletes are a little bigger than us normal folk. There was no way a guy like you or I were gonna tackle him.
You take left leg, I'll take right leg.
We're gonna need Greg on shoulder 1. We're gonna need John on shoulder 2. Team effort, folks.
That would be a great way to end up in the hospital. So we've got a lot more to cover and only one afternoon to do it. Buckle up, y'all. If you're into dinosaur bones and the amazing animals of Texas, the Natural Science Museum is a must. American history buffs will appreciate the Briscoe Center, and anybody with a love of art and the creative process must step into the Harry Ransom Center. It's a massive archive from some of history's greatest thinkers. But it's what's right at the front door that baffles me. This is Museum Director Steve Ennis.
So what you see here is a Gutenberg Bible.
What?
This is the earliest book printed from movable type, approximately 1455. And it's one of only 5 complete copies in the United States.
Y'all, this is a big deal. The printing press changed history, and this Bible was its first contribution to the world.
This is unbelievable. Like, the rarity of this really can't be overstated.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a big deal. Have you ever put on the white gloves and flipped the pages of this thing?
We actually turn the pages on a regular basis, and that's simply to release pressure on the spines. So yes, the pages are turned quite often. I don't personally turn the pages, but...
You've never done it? You've never done it?
No, I haven't flipped through the Gutenberg Bible.
Okay.
Oh, if I were director, that's the first thing I'd do. But the lobby has even more to see.
All right, now this is wild. It's the Niepce heliograph. Translation, it's the world's oldest photograph. You can sort of see it's on this piece of metal, and it's of some buildings. He just pointed a camera obscura out a window and captured what it looked like in France. It's the oldest surviving one we have in humanity. And it's right here. It's nuts.
The main gallery constantly rotates and currently displays the illustrations of artist Elizabeth Olds.
I like her style. Like, she's not so realist. You need to sort of have your own unique artistic style.
What would you say your style is?
I mean, I'm kind of a surrealist, modern, avant-garde, Spanish Renaissance kind of style. That's just me personally, though.
Creativity is a strange thing. You want to know how strange? Well, a short walk to the Blanton Museum of Art is enough to stretch your legs and blow your mind.
Hey, right off the bat, this thing's a mind trip.
There's art everywhere.
This is Chief Curator Carter Foster.
You're right, it's very trippy and op-arty. It moves, it vibrates, so it's a really exciting piece.
Like, when I was young, I think art is something, it fits in a frame, it goes on a wall, it's flat.
Right.
And at some point you learn, like, no.
Art is expansive, it can be anything.
There's no boundaries at all.
There's no boundaries.
The Blanton is one of Texas's premier art museums. What kind of art? Well, art. Why you wanna box it in, amigo?
Art is ultimately about human expression and creative thought. There's a lot of variety here, so people can find something they like.
Variety being the key word.
You need an entire room to house this one. And the artist invites us all to gently touch the art. Oh, you hear that? It's pretty cool when a painting you've seen before in a book, you actually see in person.
From ancient Greece to the modern era, this one makes me feel like I'm swimming. This one is an entire building, and this one is confusing.
I just don't get it.
Whew, long day, huh?
It's a bench?
Yeah.
I think I need some fresh air. As a UT student, one of my favorite places to go outside was nearby Pease Park. Just off West Campus, it was Austin's first public green space. It's old, but attracting new visitors.
So a lot of new folks have been moving to Austin within the last few years, but by far the coolest new resident is this one right here. Her name is Malin, and she is a troll.
It's a Dombo troll, made almost completely of recycled materials, and definitely keeping Austin weird. When my family heard I was meeting a troll today, Well, they had to see it for themselves.
What do you think? Is it a boy or a girl troll? Girl? Friendly or not friendly? She's actually a mean troll. She demands a sacrifice. We have to put you. Sacrifice. Oh no! You're supposed to pour out a little water as an offering because she's all about water conservation. So kids, this is called pouring a little out for your homies.
Oh, thank you.
Pease Park has got to be one of the most unique in Texas.
It's supposed to look like a big seed pod. Who's going first? Ah! 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 You're neutralizing my jumps. Mama down.
The park is great for kids of all ages. All right, final stop of the day. One that's so close to UT, it's a fan favorite for pregame tailgates. However, its importance goes way beyond the university. In fact, it's even older. Welcome to Schultz Garden.
Hey, Chet, I think we got to get this thing started the right way. Let's get some big steins of beer. There we go.
Prost!
This is owner Dan Smith.
The Germans know how to do it right.
Absolutely right. We're rounding it right out. Got a little pepperwurst, a little weisswurst, a little bratwurst, a
that thing
gigantic soft pretzel.
Enormous.
The year was 1866. The population of Austin was 4,000 people. And a German immigrant named August Schultz opened a bar and cafe.
And they created the atmospheres that they had known in the old country here. And this is like one of the oldest, right?
One of the oldest. We're the oldest bar and restaurant in the state of Texas.
The oldest.
And we're the oldest beer garden in the United States of America. Absolutely.
In the entire U.S.
Yeah.
You heard it, folks. This isn't just a Longhorn tradition. It's a German, Texan, even American tradition. And turns out, we owe a lot to the Germans.
And folks, I don't think realize it. They brought smoked meats, which turned into Texas barbecue. They brought their schnitzels along with them, which became chicken fried steak.
They also brought culture, art, music. And to this day, there's still a German choir, Sangerunde, that meets next door. I mean, this place is locked in the annals of Austin history.
You know, the first University of Texas national championship team came here to party and celebrate. Ann Richards in her book said that there was more legislation done in Schultz than there was actually in the State House. So,
I don't doubt it.
When our city's growing so much, it's important for a city to hold on to its roots, to its legacy, to its tradition, and that's what Schultz is. And you feel it when you walk in the door.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the food, Schultz sticks to German tradition, but with a little Texification on occasion. I give you the Piggy Smalls. Bratwurst topped with Spätzle noodles, peppers and onions, and melted beer cheese.
Prost to dinner. This looks like das beste meal I'm gonna eat in a long time. Brilliant. Well, spicier than I thought. Where the heck is the spice coming from? Oh, it's a jalapeno cheese bratwurst. You ever seen one of them, Daniel? Magic. All right, I'm diving into these fries. Reuben fries. This was probably meant to be shared with friends. I just don't have any friends to share it with. Oh, corned beef on point. Participating in something that folks have been doing here in Austin for over 150 years. That's just good day tripping right there.
From towering heights to greasy dives, these 40 acres and beyond fuel the heartbeat of Austin. A stream of energy that pumps into the city and then out into Texas. And whether you bleed orange or maroon or I don't care, green, if you're Texan, this is part of your story. Some of which you can learn from a book, but more that you have to trip for yourself.
Gemütlichkeit, y'all. I think I said that right. But also, vaya con Dios, amigos. Oh, yeah, I am. Hold on.
Howdy, y'all. Follow along with my adventures at Daytripper on Instagram and at the Daytripper TV on Facebook and YouTube. Or head to thedaytripper.com for travel guides, past episodes, and info on our mobile app and Team Daytripper.